All right, Coach Sloan, it's the start of the NCAA Championships now that we broke the NCAA up into 2 weekends, 2 weeks apart. The Cougars have 16 women, 17 men going. Is this about the field that you thought we could advance to the NCAA this year?
Yeah, I think it's pretty close to what we were looking at. I think we got a couple of surprises, and a couple of people that we thought would be going aren't. So we're right in that ballpark, I think.
Do you like the way the training has gone in preparation for getting into for participating at this NCAA?
I think so. I think probably rest becomes a very important part of our preparation because we've been training hard since latter part of August. So we've put a lot of work in. So I just don't think that any additional stuff's going to make a huge difference at this point in time. It's more about making sure we're sharp and rested for NCAA competition.
Coming off the Pac12 Championships, where it was very important to finish in front of specific people, what's the goal with the NCAA? Same thing because the top 12 advance?
It's purely on an advancement. That the only time marks come into it as far as advancement is if you're outside that window of the automatic advancements. So you might take a 1,500 meters in the first round, and they'll take 4 out of each heat, and then maybe 6 on time. So if you're not in the top 4, it behooves you to continue to compete all the way to the line because you might just be in that time qualifier number.
Who do you think has our strongest chances to compete at the Outdoor Championships in Eugene, June 5th to the 8th?
Well, I think if you go by rankings, I think Caroline Austin is very high on the list. I think she might be 7th on the steeplechase list, and I think she's competing very well and on top of her game, so I think she has an excellent chance. I think everybody that we're taking has that chance because I think it's a very competitive group. And I don't know all of the rankings. I'm talking just about the women's side. I think Anna Adamko has a pretty solid ranking going into this meet. This was kind of her breakout meet last year down in Austin where she had a long throw that got her through. And so I'm looking forward to her throwing well and advancing on. Our relays, probably we have to be a bit better than we have been on both relays in order to have that opportunity. I think Shauna Furman came up with a little muscle issue cramp at the Pac-12 meet, so I think if she's healthy, I think she's another person who has a good opportunity to move through. Just running through them quickly in my mind, Holly Parent is jumping very well right now, and I think that's somebody that could also advance. I think Charlotte Muschamp, she had a couple of good fouls that I observed down at USC in the triple jump. If we can get those to be legal jumps and get her into the high 41, low 42s, that might be able to get through. So I think that we've got a number of people that have that ability and opportunity. I think Ruby Roberts is racing very well. And although her time doesn't rank quite as high, she's a racer, and that's what this meet's about. It's about racing people, not necessarily how fast you run. On the men's side,
you can say that about both your 1,500 meter runners.
Well, yeah, Todd, as we move to the men, Todd has been spectacular all year long from cross country through indoor and outdoor, and he's finding a way to put himself at the front of the pack. And so I expect him to continue in that same line at this race down in Texas. I think also the possibility exists that Andrew Gonzalez could move on in the steeple. He didn't have his best race at the conference championship, and maybe he learned something from that race and can come out and put himself in a good competitive situation in Austin. Back on the women's side, I forgot about our pole vaulters are both going very well. So I think that chance exists there. Back to the men, I think Jovan, again, he didn't have a good meet at the conference meet, but I think that this could be his last meet as a Cougar if he doesn't jump well. And I think going in with that attitude and laying it all out there, I think the possibility exists for him to get through in the high jump for sure. And Dana Wells in the intermediate hurdles, I think he's probably going to have to come down a little bit more in his time, but he has been running well. And he had got a little muscle issue before the conference meet, before we left, and managed it very well and still ran a good time there. So I think he'll be back up to full speed by the time we get down to Austin. You know, I trying to run through my mind quickly here. I think that the people that we're taking to Austin have been doing well competitively all year long. So my anticipation is that they go down and that they're going to compete great, and we'll see where those efforts put us.
Does this have a different feel than the Pac-12 Championships? Just a higher level, or
Yeah.
I mean, do the kids feel that?
I think they do. You know, the facility there at Austin is a big time facility, and we enjoy going there. But we're going to have 90-degree temperatures and things that we're going to have to deal with down there. But I think we'll do well. But you're right. It's the more different colored uniforms you have out there, the bigger the feel it has. There's a lot more unknowns in the conference. You've seen some of these people. You've competed against them. When you get down to the meet of this nature, you throw all those conference people in there, and then plus the rest of the western half of the U.S., and there's a lot of unknowns, which can create some anxiety.
Well, we wish the best to the Cougars this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday down in Austin.
Thank you very much. Go Cougs.